Well, let's go above and beyond the headlines now with Tony Lambino. He's Assistant Secretary at the Finance Department. Welcome to Newsnight, ASEC.
Good evening, Pia, and good evening to everybody watching.
Well, in the report previous to this, ASEC Lambino, you're quoted as saying, and we'll just repeat it, no?
Yes.
Quote, we absolutely have not waived anything with regards to these properties through the loan agreement. And further you say, and we quote, no collateral with our loan agreements. That means our creditors do not have any guarantee to any asset that we have.
That's correct.
We have agreed is to go to an arbitration procedure should non-arbitration procedure not work out. But again, we did not declare any collateral. So can you just please help us understand this Article 8.1 of this 39-page Presidential Buyer's Credit Loan Agreement on the Chico River Pump Irrigation Project. And it reads, 8.1 Waiver of immunity. The borrower hereby irrevocably waives any immunity on the grounds of sovereign or otherwise for itself or its property in connection with any arbitration proceeding pursuant to Article 8.5 hereof or with the enforcement of any arbitral award thereto. However, the next sentence goes, notwithstanding the foregoing, the borrower does not waive any immunity of its assets, which are used by diplomatic or consular mission of the Republic of the Philippines of a military character under control of a military authority or defense agency, or located in the Philippines and dedicated to public or governmental use. So how are we going to understand this? We waived or we did not waive?
We do not waive immunity on these three types of assets. Assets that are used for diplomatic or consular purposes in our missions and our embassies. Of military character, we do not waive anything with regard to those, and of assets that are dedicated to public or governmental use. And that's where we distinguish.
Yeah, and located in the Philippines.
Yes, so that's where we distinguish between governmental use assets and patrimonial assets.
So of these three definitions, under which does, for example, Reed Bank and the other disputed islands or shoals in the West Philippine Sea, do they fall under any of these three?
Those are public assets. Unless the government or the legislature declares that an asset is not for public use, then it is not patrimonial. It is for public use. And that is in a decision that Justice Carpio himself penned in 2002.
So, in other words, yung mga disputed areas in the West Philippine Sea plus Reed Bank, hindi ito pwedeng kunin ng China if we default on our loan. Ganun ba yun? Is that correct?
They have not been declared as they have not been declared as assets that have no public use.
So
it has to be proactive, Pia. The declaration of an asset that is not of public use has to be proactive. That is based on jurisprudence as penned by Justice Carpio.
Yeah, although his interpretation is that in so many words na delikado ang ibang portions of the Philippines because of this.
Well, that's why we were a bit puzzled by Justice Carpio's presentation a few days ago, because he himself has written in no uncertain terms, in a Supreme Court decision, that governmental assets remain so until declared proactively by the government or by the legislature to be not so.
Okay, and like you were saying earlier, and we quote again, absolutely have not waived anything. In other words, if the Philippines defaults on this loan for the Chico River Dam Irrigation Project, walang kukuning kahit anong natural resources or kahit anong territory ng Pilipinas.
Yes, I guess the only exception to that, Pia, is unless something has been declared as having no public use or public purpose.
And again, that can only happen when, who's going to declare that? Congress?
Congress or the executive.
Okay, is there anything pending in the Congress or in the executive that could pave the way for something like that?
Not that I know of.
Not that you know of. Okay, so in other words, for now, Reed Bank and other disputed areas are not in danger at all.
Yes, that is our understanding of the jurisprudence of the Philippines and of the decisions of the Supreme Court regarding this matter.
Okay, and also, ASEC Lambino, earlier you were quoted as saying that this is normal procedure when you have the borrower, the lender have this parang kumbaga arbitral body, will host this arbitral body. This is relative to what is in 8.5, no? And we quote, any dispute arising out of or in connection with this agreement shall be resolved through friendly consultation. If no settlement can be reached through such consultation, each party shall have the right to submit such dispute to the China International Economic and Trade Arbitration Commission, this CIATAC, based in Beijing. You're saying
Yes,
this is not unusual, because other people are saying, you know, this arbitral body should be in a neutral third country and not in the country of the lender.
Yes, actually, the arbitral body varies from loan agreement to loan agreement. For instance, for the Kaliwa Dam, it's Hong Kong. No? For Chico, it's the SciTech in Beijing. But I think we also need to contextualize the arbitration proceedings, because there are certain steps that is part of. First, we have to default. No, I mean, through non-payment or refusal to pay. That's the first thing that has to happen. Second, we need to not have been able to settle it outside of arbitration. Third, the decision to go into arbitration should be made. Fourth, we need to be in a situation where there's an adverse ruling. And lastly, that adverse ruling has to be brought by the creditor country to the regional trial court in the Philippines for confirmation before it's executable.
Okay, but do you understand why there seems to be parang parang may takot, certain sectors when it comes to loans with China?
We understand the concerns, the heightened emotions, and information is all out there in the media from different parties and different sectors. Yes, of course, we understand that. That's why we're explaining the provisions of the law and such terms as patrimonial assets that might sound concerning if not defined properly.
Will there be other big projects like this, the Chico River Pump Irrigation Project and the Kaliwa Dam, that will also be China funded?
Yes, there are additional ODA projects that are being discussed and negotiated with China, with Japan, with Korea, and even some other countries. Yes.
Okay, and at the moment, what we're looking at is, like you said, no, we're not going to default. You're very confident that that isn't going to happen. However, I mean, we don't really know what's going to happen in the future, hindi ba?
Yes, that's why we have to borrow responsibly. That's why we have to borrow for projects that really have a clear social benefit. There is a threshold that the NEDA ICC and the NEDA board look at, which is a 10% economic internal rate of return. That means that the social benefit has to far outweigh the cost of financing. We also have to look at the growth prospects of the economy overall relative to the size of our borrowings. That's why all of those factors come into play in the borrowing strategy for the country.
Okay, so your message is very clear. What you're saying is the DOF, the Philippine government, is not literally selling the country down the drain.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. These are Philippine projects that will benefit the Filipino people.
All right. Tony Lambino, Finance Assistant Secretary, thank you for joining us this evening.